So now go back to this main window. However, there's one caveat here. Watch what happens when I don't have both of these tracks armed to record. And I have the NN19 track highlighted, and I try and play my drum pad. It's playing both instruments simultaneously. So there's no way to avoid this other than making sure you have both of those instruments on record. But if you want to keep your instruments off record when you don't need them to be recorded, you could do this little trick and create a global, or what I call a null MIDI track. Go up to the plus button here, click it, create another software instrument track, drag that to the top, rename it. I'm going to call mine null. And you can set channels just like you did in the environment window. So if I click on NN19, you can see that the MIDI channel is set to 1. Null, I'm going to keep at all. So every time I record, I want to have my tracks that I want recorded armed, and then I'm going to click on null. That way I don't run into a situation where I'm accidentally playing two instruments at the same time. Since I have all of them on record, it doesn't really matter, but if I did something like this, it would. Okay? So now let's test this setup. Let's go ahead and hit record, and I'm going to play both of the instruments at the same time. Beautiful. So now you notice that it has sent the MIDI notes from channel 1 to the channel 1 track, and the MIDI notes from channel 2 to the channel 2 track. Let me play that back just to prove that that's working. So let me go back to why we use software instrument tracks rather than external MIDI tracks like the Propellerheads website and every other tutorial tells you to do. Let's create a new track, external MIDI, create. All right. The reason why we don't want to do it this way is because of our last step, where we went into settings, recording, auto demix by channel of multi-track recording, and then setting each of our software instrument channels to a MIDI channel, or software instrument tracks to a MIDI channel. This would not work if we used external instrument tracks. And even though it says channel here, remember what this channel means on this track. It means a specific instrument within Reason. These are buses and channels within Reason that it's referring to. It's not referring to MIDI channels at all. So if you wanted to highlight this and have two of these external instrument tracks, when you record, the auto demix wouldn't know how to put the signals from channel 1 onto this and the signals from channel 2 onto a second track. What you need to have happen is a software instrument track where you can set the MIDI channels to whatever you want. So now you're all set to multi-track record two or more MIDI instruments at the same time. That was about 20 minutes of explanation for something that actually takes about 30 seconds in reality to set up if you were to just go through all those steps very quickly. But hopefully a lot of that probably too much in-depth analysis of what was happening might help you understand how to tackle your own recording situation. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get to them. And if you have a moment, check out some of our recordings at likethedesert.com. And you can also find us on Facebook. Just search for us, Like the Desert.